All right, quick, before we get to Maddie has questions. Quick note, text from R.A., the host of Spittin' Chicklets. And that's a great tweet, by the way.
Yes, laughing at that.
You guys still laughing about that?
Yes.
You'll see the quote in moments here on Hockey Central. If you're watching on Sportsnet or the NHL Network, R.A., the host of the Spittin' Chicklets podcast, played the Chelios piece a couple of seconds ago. He writes, and this is further to our discussion about Luc Robillard, Jean Beliveau, the great who passed away 5 years ago today. Jean Beliveau was the only Hab my Bruins season ticket holding pops ever liked. Tremendous respect for him. Isn't that the mark of true greatness, where it'll transcend the hatred you may have of a certain team? Oh, I hated the Habs. Liked Beliveau, though.
Well, it was like
Really liked that Beliveau.
Chara got some love right for game 1500 in Montreal. It's like, at least I respect what you are.
And you know what that is? I think that is a fan base that is steeped in history and understands the gravity of the moment for Zdeno Chara and said, we may not be cool with the Pacioretty situation, but we are a fan base that understands what that number means to that person. And if you're in our barn, this is the reaction you're going to get. I think that's a direct reflection of that fan base.
And I think Montreal has the best fan base because every single little play they have an appreciation for. So I used to go into Montreal trying to do a little toe drag because you hear a little ooh, ah. Then I throw a pizza, they'd be like, ah, ha, ha.
Matty Marchese with us, coat and all, as you can see on Anthony Stewart's Twitter.
Yeah, just go to his Twitter and you'll see.
Yeah, it looks like my grandma's 70s or couch. So I'll just leave it at that. So I would give you a pat on the back, but some dust might fly off. But continue. There we go. Matty has questions.
Can I have some backup here? Because you actually said you liked it.
I don't anymore. No, I would wear that coat.
Should wrap it in a plastic sheet, old school styles.
That's a very much an Italian thing. Yes, sir.
Cats on there.
If the Leafs do not go out and get a competent backup goalie, will they make the playoffs? Because if the expectation is that Anderson plays between 60 and 65 games, there is a potential for another 10-plus games with a backup goalie. And we know they only have 1 point out of 16 already.
There's just no way you're putting Hutchison in 17 times this year and he doesn't get some wins here. I don't know what the number is.
You're saying law of he's due?
I'm saying how many more, let's say they get Keith Kincaid or whoever you think is a better backup. How many more games is Kincaid going to win you than Hutchinson? Is the answer 1, 2, 3, 5?
Well, right now,
I don't think it's many.
Now 1 is a better number, and I think that's a concerning one for Maple Leafs fans.
I'm not saying it's not worth addressing, but I don't think the difference is that great. So I think, yes, they still make playoffs to answer your question.
I think they'll stumble in, but again, that's a potential 20 points. And at this rate, he's only going to get 1 or 2 of those points. So even if he goes 500 and gets 10 of those points, 11 out of X amount of points, I don't think that's good enough. So I think they'll get in, but they'll stumble in. And they'll end up playing a Boston or I say potentially a hot Tampa Bay, and it's going to be the same recipe of disaster it's been the last couple of years.
See, that's part of it too. How many teams make the playoffs with the backup netminder putting up bagels?
Yeah,
it's a very small number, I bet.
That doesn't happen in the NHL.
Yeah.
With that being said, is Frederik Andersen by far and away the MVP of this team?
Yes. Next question.
Yeah, he's the
That's an easy one, right?
He's the MIP. Yep. He's certainly the most important player for them. Like, if you had to look at their roster and take away one piece to hurt them the most, it's easily Freddie.
We had this conversation off the air, so we'll have it on the air. Last month, we talked about Leon Draisaitl getting Hall of Fame votes.
Whoa,
He's getting, maybe.
It's a good start here. But.
Easy. Hart Trophy.
Alexi Lafreniere and Quentin Byfield, Hall of Famers. Let's go to the phone.
Discuss. Hart Trophy votes. Now, with David Pastrnak, much of the same will be said. How much does who he plays with weigh on voters?
Well, personally, I don't think he can win the Hart Trophy. You know, can he be nominated as a finalist? Yeah. But so much of what he gets is driven by what McDavid creates. And I don't know what he could do to separate himself from that. It's a nice problem to have if you're Leon Draisaitl.
I was talking about Pastrnak, though.
Oh, sorry. With Pastrnak, even I think he would have a much better chance because I think you can argue that he drives that line as much as Marchand or as much as Bergeron.
McDavid.
Okay. Goals are expensive. Goals are hard to come by. Goals are at a premium. General managers pay for goals. It is the hardest thing to do in the NHL is score goals. It is getting easier, but no one does it as right now easily as David Pastrnak does. Like he is becoming as much as, the hockey hipsters go to watch the Boston Bruins to watch Patrice Bergeron and get an ex-NHLers or guys in the game will always come back to Bergeron. You cannot deny the production and the play of someone like Brad Marchand. I had him in as number 2 on my Hart ballot last year. And I'll probably have him up high again this season based on what he's doing. But this is a season where, I mean, he's trending towards, I mean, pick it, the number of goals. It's a goal. It's almost a goal a game pace. Like,
So if he slows down, he gets 60.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, like he's going to, oh, wow, he's just sort of backdoored into 60 goals. You know how hard it is to score 60 goals in the NHL? This guy's doing it like he's breaking sticks.
It's hard for guys to score 6, let alone 60.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know. I mean, he has the one skill set that I think can transcend any type of vote split scenario.
He's also not so like as one dimensional. You can say that like even that Montreal game, he's going back at Gallagher and Weber and those guys. Like he'll play with some feistiness to him, you know. So yeah, it's easy to love his game.
Alex Ovechkin notched his 15th straight 20-goal season, and he has scored no less than 32 in a full NHL season. Is he the greatest pure goal scorer of all time?
When you adjust for era, yes.
Yeah.
Why do you need to adjust?
You just think period, flat out.
Pure goal scoring, yeah.
Stewie thinks he's going to break Gretzky's record.
Standing where he is on the power play, I think he could stand there till the next 10 years, I think.
It'd be
he wanna
interesting if
stay
he
in the
becomes a
NHL?
field goal kicker and they just trot him out there for power plays only. Just bomb
The
it till he's
ultimate special teamer.
I'm just here for Wayne.
just waiting.
That's all I'm doing. I'm coming out for power plays because I'm chasing Gretzky.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a David Amber conversation for Wednesdays because DA's been banging that drum for a while about how he thinks Ovechkin's gonna.
And he's not slowing down.
Doable.
And I think he's the dark horse for the Rocket this year, just based on the fact that